Have you ever heard of a woman who turned the whole market upside down with just the taste of her food? Her name was Nancy, a young, vibrant woman in her late 20s. She was not just any cook who picked up cooking from childhood or learned it along the way. Nancy was a professional trained chef. She graduated from one of the top catering schools in Lagos, and from the way she handled food preparation, arranged her ingredients, and balanced flavors, it was obvious she knew her job. Everyone expected her to go to a big fancy area to open a high-class restaurant, but Nancy did something different. Instead, she rented a big space inside the local market, a proper space, big enough to run a kitchen. It was almost as if that space had been waiting for her. It was well located, close to the entrance of the market, where everyone could see a signboard. When people heard about her decision, they were shocked. A old trained chef in this kind of place, they whispered, "This is ridiculous." But Nancy wasn't moved by what people said. You see, Nancy had a goal. Her dream was not just to make money. She wanted to feed the people. And not just people with deep pockets. She wanted her food to be so affordable that even the women selling onions, the boys pushing wheelbarrow, would be able to afford her food without breaking the bank. Also, she understood that the real hustle was in the market. People there were busy. Traders opened their shops early. Mechanics, bus drivers, pepper sellers, and even office workers passed through the market daily. These people needed good and affordable food. Nancy knew what she was doing. Helping people was the goal. Profit making was secondary. She started the restaurant with a small team, but from day one, her food spoke to itself. The aroma alone was so inviting and appealing. A jollof rice aroma fills the air every morning. A fried rice with a perfect blend of veggies, soft amala with ewedu and gbegiri that could make you close your eyes and say, "Thank you, Lord." By 7 a.m., there's a long queue already in front of our restaurants. Some customers would even come with food flags to buy and take to the office. Market women talked about how our food is so unique. Have you tasted her stew? One would ask. That's our ogbono, eh? It tastes heavenly. Another one would say. Even Okada riders and bus conductors began saving their small change to buy our food, instead of sharing dry bread and coke early in the morning. But Nancy's success was not just because of food. Our restaurant was sparkling clean. The floor was always neat. Our plates were spotless. There were even hand sanitizers for people to use. Inside markets, imagine that. She set a new standard. And our staff, they were polite, well-trained, and always smiling. Nancy personally trained every single one of them for 1 full month before they started working. She did not just teach them how to serve food. She taught them how to treat customers well. Good food brings people in, she would say, but good customer service makes them stay. That was her secret formula. She taught them to sell with speed, to greet everyone with respect, and to never argue with a customer, no matter how difficult they were. Nancy even taught them how to serve food properly, irrespective of the customer's status. how to make the food look good as it tasted. It didn't take long before her name began to spread, first inside the markets, then around the community, and eventually across the town. Office workers would leave their workspaces during break just to come and buy her food. Others would send dispatch riders. People who couldn't come themselves would call and beg her to be served their food. Other food vendors who once had steady customers were now watching their benches remain empty. Women who used to sell 2 coolers of rice by 11 a.m. were now struggling to sell half. Some started reducing the quantity of food they cook just to reduce wastage. But among them all, the person who felt it the most was Mama Ada. Mama Ada had been in that market for over 10 years. She was one of the first people to set up food shop in the food section, and over the years, she had gathered customers who came every day for her food. But ever since Nancy came, things were no longer the same. Every morning, as Mama Ada opened her food spots, she would look across the market and see a crowd already waiting in front of Nancy's place. Some of her customers had left her place. Each time she passed by Nancy's restaurant, she would say to herself, "What is this girl using? Why are people even behaving like this? Is her rice different from mine?" She even asked one of her girls, did she add anything inside her food? Something spiritual or something strange that is attracting people? The girl replied, "I don't know, ma, but people say her food tastes really good." That annoys Mama Ada the more. She was not the type that easily accepts defeat, so she tried her best to improve her food. She began to add more seasoning cubes, more salt, more pepper to make her food taste richer. She even introduced new dishes, but nothing changed. The more she tried, the more her frustration grew. Her income dropped, and to make things worse, her apprentices started whispering about how they wanted to go and work for Nancy instead. That got her more angry. She started seeing Nancy not just as a competitor, but as a threat. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, Mama Ada sat in her store, arms folded across her chest, watching the queue in front of Nancy's shop. She said to herself, "What is it about this girl?" She asked herself. "She just came from nowhere and wants to take all of us out of business." Deep down, Mama Ada was not just angry, she was afraid. Day by day, the bitterness turned into jealousy. Then jealousy slowly turned into anger. And anger, it began whispering dangerous ideas into her ears. Nancy, on the other hand, was too busy to notice. She was just expanding, buying bigger pots and adding new dishes to the menu, training more staff to handle the growing number of customers. She didn't know that while she was rising, someone was already planning how to bring her down. One afternoon, Mama Ada sat in the corner of her store. Her mind was full of different thoughts. Something must be going on behind the scene. I need to find out. She whispered to herself, "This is not ordinary." That was when an idea came to her. Desperate times, she believed, called for desperate measures. She looked around and called Messi, one of her apprentices. Messi is an outspoken lady, so she felt she would be fit for the job. "Messi," Mama Ada said, "Come, I want to see you." Mama Ada spoke in a calm, serious tone. "You see this Nancy girl across the market? I don't trust her. That kind of crowd, every day something is not adding up. I need to know what she's doing that is pulling people to her. I need you to help me. My mother continued. Go and apply for a job at a restaurant. Pretend like you are looking for work. Don't worry, I will still be paying you your salary here. And if you do this thing well, I will double your salary. This was tempting to her for the fact that her salary will be doubled. She had younger siblings to support. Her mother was sick back home. Life had not been easy, and this offer looks juicy. She replied, Ma, you mean I should go and spy on her? Messi asked slowly. Yes, Mama Ada replied. Just work there like a normal staff. Look around, watch how she cooks. Find out her recipes for me. Write everything down. If she's using anything special, maybe spice, ingredients, even if she's doing something spiritual, I want to know. That is your job. She nodded. Okay, ma, I will do it. 2 days later, Messi showed up at Nancy's restaurant. She wore a simple blouse and long skirts, tied her hair neatly, and presented herself like any other job seeker. Nancy welcomed her with a smile, as usual. You're welcome, my dear, Nancy said warmly. Here, we don't just serve food, we serve people. You will go through our training first. For the next 1 month, Messi went through rigorous training. How to handle ingredients properly, how to measure seasoning without guesswork, how to clean as you cook, how to treat customers like kings and queens. Messi had now fully settled into Nancy's restaurant. She was amazed how the place was not just neat, it was well structured. There was a method to everything. The kitchen had labels on every shelf. The ingredients were arranged like they were in a pharmacy. Staff was not just cooking, they were working like a team. Everyone had a specific role. Some handled just rice, some managed soups. Everything was organized. But what surprised Messi the most was Nancy herself. She was nothing like Mama Ada described. Nancy was calm, patient, and very intentional lady. She does not shout unnecessarily. When a staff member made a mistake, she does not embarrass them in front of others. She would gently correct them and sometimes even say, "Don't worry, we learn every day." Unlike Mama Ada, who is fond of cursing her staff. Messi made a few mistakes in her first week. She once oversalted the stew, but Nancy didn't scold her harshly. Instead, she said, "It's okay, Messi. Just be more careful next time. You will get better." Nobody had ever treated her like that. Slowly, Messi began to feel at home. She was learning and growing. She began to admire Nancy, not just for her cooking, but for her good heart. Every day, Mama Ada would call. "Have you found the secrets yet?" she would ask. Messi had no choice. She kept sending updates. How early they started cooking, how they soaked their meat with spices overnight, how the jollof rice was made with real tomato blend instead of tinned paste, how they used meat stock for flavor instead of just seasoning cubes. She wrote down everything, sent voice notes, and even drew a rough sketch of the kitchen layout. Mama Ada tried to copy everything. She went back to her own restaurant and followed the instructions. She boiled the rice the same way. She seasoned the meat just like Messi described. But after all that, nothing changed. Customers still preferred Nancy's food. Mama Ada was furious. How can somebody follow all the steps and still not get the same result? She shouted one evening as she threw her apron to the floor. What kind of nonsense is this? Her heart was burning with anger. Then one evening, she called Messi to meet her behind the market stalls. It was already getting dark. The noise of the market had reduced, and only a few traders were packing up for the day. Mama Ada didn't waste time. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small black sachet. "This," she said, holding it carefully. "You will put this inside the jollof rice pot tomorrow morning. Just a pinch, that's all. Be careful while doing it so that no one will see you." Messi's heart started beating fast. "What is it?" she asked quietly. "Don't worry," Mama Ada replied. "It's just something to mess up the food. It will make people purge. They will start blaming Nancy. Once her reputation is damaged, people will stop buying from her. It is that simple." Messi looked at the sachet and looked back at Mama Ada. Something didn't feel right. "But Ma, what if people fall sick?" she asked slowly. "Don't worry, it's just for them to purge. That is all. It is not as if they will die." Messi was terrified. She wanted to walk away, but fear held her back. Mama Ada had supported her when she had nothing. She paid her salary, she gave her a job when she was struggling, and she even promised to double her pay. Messi didn't know what else to say, so she collected the sachet, put it in her apron pocket and walked away. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept staring at the ceiling, thinking about Nancy's smile, her gentle voice, the way she encouraged her during training. She thought about the customers who came with joy to buy food every morning, the children who came with their mothers, the tired traders who depended on Nancy's food for strength. That morning started like every other. The aroma of Nancy's famous jollof rice filled the air before 7 a.m. Our staff were already in motion, serving food, packing takeaways, arranging water bottles, and greeting customers as they arrive. Messi stood over the large pot of jollof rice. Her hands were shaking. She looked around. No one was watching her. With trembling fingers, she took out the small sachet Mama Ada had given her, tore it open quietly, and poured the contents into the pot. She stirred it gently and stepped away. The food was served. By midday, everything seems normal. Nancy even complimented Messi on how she handled the lunch rush. "You are doing well," she said kindly, patting her shoulder. By evening, the market changed. It started slowly. One customer collapsed near the fruit store. People thought maybe she had skipped breakfast. Then another woman started vomiting near the okirika section. Minutes later, a child screamed and fell to the ground. Soon, people were shouting, running around in panic. Traders abandoned their shops. Okada men parked their bikes to check what was going on. Before long, more people started stolling uncontrollably, fainting. Some were even vomiting blood. Children were being carried by their mothers. Men were dragging their wives to any available hospital. There was chaos everywhere. What is happening? Is it poison? Where did they eat from? Fingers started pointing to Nancy's restaurant. That was where they all ate. Within hours, ambulances started arriving. Local hospitals were overwhelmed, and by the next morning, over 50 people had died, and the number kept increasing. There was an outburst of anger in the market. The market youth picked up stakes, planks, and iron rods. They began a wide protest right inside the market. They marched straight to Nancy's shop. They broke down the small entrance door. They smashed the coolers and scattered the chairs. They tore down the banners with Nancy's name boldly written on them and set them on fire right in the open place. They started shouting, "You are a ritualist. How much were you paid to kill innocent people?" It was a total disaster. All the hard work Nancy had built with love, discipline, and sweat was wiped out in a matter of minutes. Then the police came. They marched straight to Nancy's restaurant, sealed it up with tape, and arrested her. Nancy stood in disbelief, her hands behind her back, tears rolling down her face. "Officer, I don't understand," she whispered. "I didn't do anything." But no one was listening. The angry crowd outside were shouting, "Ritualists! She used them for money. No wonder her food is very affordable. No wonder everybody could afford her food. So her plan is to use us for money ritual." Nancy was devastated. Inside the police van, she sat with her head bent low, wondering how everything had crumbled overnight. Just the day before, she had been laughing with customers. Now, they were calling her a murderer. No one asked her side of the story. Nancy sat alone in the prison cell. She barely ate, spoke. Each day, she kept asking the same questions in her heart. How did I get here? How could everything I worked for disappear just like that? Is this how it will all end? All the memories came flooding back. Her early mornings, her training sections with her staff, her customers, the smell of her jollof rice, the kindness she poured into her job. It all felt like a dream now, a dream that had turned into a nightmare. Mama Ada was pleased about this. To her, the mission was accomplished. Nancy is no longer a problem. She started getting her customers back. People slowly returned to her store, and she continued selling as if nothing had happened. Ever since the incident happened, Messi changed. She was not herself anymore. She couldn't erase the image of the market women wailing as they lose their loved ones, all because of what she had done. At night, every time she closed her eyes, the faces of the dead returned. She heard their voice, their cries. Some nights she would wake up screaming for nightmares. Her conscience was no longer allowing her to rest. She ignored Mama Ada's calls. She was no longer the same. She started asking hard questions. Was the money really worth it? Did I really kill people with my hands? What if I had said no? She stopped going to church because she felt too ashamed to step into the presence of God. She tried to move on, but her conscience was pricking her. She kept seeing Nancy's face. That innocent look, that smile, the kindness Nancy had shown her during the training. And then, one night, She had not slept in 2 days. She whispered to herself, "I can't take this anymore." The next day, Messi walked slowly into the police station. Her eyes were swollen from crying. It was clear she had not been eating or sleeping well. She stepped up to the counter, looked at the officer on duty, and said in a shaky voice, "I have something to confess." The officers looked at her with curiosity. She sat down and poured out everything, from the very beginning, how Mama Ada sent her to spy on Nancy, how she reported everything going on in Nancy's restaurant back to back, how she was given a sachet of powder, and how she poured it into the jollof rice pot that very day. For a few minutes, there was silence in the room. The officers looked at her. One of them finally said, "Are you sure of everything you just said?" Messi nodded, crying, "Yes, sir. I am ready to face whatever punishment comes with it." An immediate investigation began. Nancy's case was reopened, and the food sample that had been sealed during the first investigation was brought out again. The lab confirmed it. The rice had been laced with a toxic substance. Messi's confession matched the evidence perfectly. That same week, Mama Ada was arrested. Her face was filled with shock and disbelief. She kept shouting, "It is a lie. This is a setup." But the truth was already in the open. The court trial began, and she was found guilty of mass murder, attempted framing, and criminal conspiracy. Mama Ada was sentenced to life imprisonment. Messi, though she confessed, was also sentenced, but with a lighter sentence. The judge said she would spend 15 years behind bars because she played a role in the tragedy. Nancy was finally set free. After several months behind bars, crying, praying, and not understanding what went wrong, Nancy finally stepped out of the prison gates. When Nancy came out of the prison, she wasn't the same person. She had no money to start all over again. Little did she know that God has not forgotten her. One evening, a quiet man in a black suit came to visit her at home. He was a philanthropist, a wealthy Nigerian businessman. He handed her a check worth of millions of naira. Nancy was surprised. "Sir, I don't even know you." He smiled and replied, "You don't have to. Just promise me one thing. Keep doing good. Don't let this world change your heart." She did not waste time. She used the money wisely, with the same discipline and vision she had before. She started again with one branch, but this time she had more experience, more determination, and a deeper reason to succeed. Within 1 year, Nancy opened 20 branches across the states. Her brand came back stronger. She employed professional staff, trained them the same way she used to, with love, structure, and high standard. And every time she stood in front of one of her new brightly painted restaurants, she would smile and whisper to herself, "They tried to bury me, but they did not know I was a seed." Mama Ada could have simply made friends with Nancy or even collaborated with her to learn and to grow. But she allowed jealousy and envy to take hold of her, leading to the death of innocent lives. Doing good may not always be appreciated, but it always speaks in the end. Nancy's kindness, integrity, and hard work were nearly destroyed by false accusation, but the truth eventually came out. Her resilience and good character helped her to rise again, even stronger than before. We have come to the end of the story. I hope you were able to learn one or two things from this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching. Till I see you next time. Bye.